Okay. Today we will discuss about figures and tables in the report, and for a technical report they are unnecessary part. They are not writing some sort of literature review or something. Okay. So we are writing about something related to engineering, so figures and tables become an important part of it. Okay. So according to the book, whenever we use the word diagram, it includes everything. Okay, it includes everything. So we have tables, we have graphs. Okay, so graphs are plotted using data. Okay, and then we have some pictures. Maybe you have taken pictures for a sample. Okay, samples you have prepared in the laboratory. Maybe you have taken pictures for equipments. Okay, or your favorite pictures of yourselves, right? See, we were studying in the laboratory, huh? In this heat and so on, right? Okay. And it can be line drawings as well. So, for example, you make very common example, flow charts, right? So, what is a flow chart? It's a line diagram. So, you make boxes and arrows and lines yourself. So, that's a line diagram. So, line diagram is like a sketch. The sketch which you are preparing yourself, that's a line diagram. Okay. So as I mentioned, for a technical report, they are a very important part. So why do we use them? What is the benefit of having a table or a figure? Why not just write tables?
Express the
Even I am not sure why I'm here. Okay. Yeah. Me and my family, we have a problem. We say first and then think. Okay, that's why we are good students. Okay, so we like this. Yes. Somebody was saying something here. For expressing data, anything else? Yes. Easier to read, easier to interpret, understand. Okay. If somebody has to read your table or figure, then please come. You don't need to read. Okay. So the tables, figures, diagrams can summarize information. Okay. They can be used to summarize information. It can clarify complex details, like already mentioned. The working diagram of a process, an equipment, the inside assembly of an equipment, something which we use in civil engineering, and maybe in other engineering as well. The cross section. So we cut the cross section to show the details of inside of the machine or a structure. Okay, that usually will become very complicated if you try to summarize it as a text. Okay. All diagrams must be clearly referenced in the text. Meaning you have to, reference means what? You have to talk about them. Like you have to mention them. Not, if you can talk about them in detail, good. But if you don't want to, or you cannot talk about them in detail, then at least they should be mentioned. Okay, figure 1 shows this, table 1 shows this. And then if you want to provide more details, good enough. Okay, but if you don't want to, but at least it should be mentioned. What happens, especially now with the softwares? The software, you put the data, the software gives you 50 charts and 2000 tables and so on and so forth. Okay, and you want to put all of them in your report. Yeah, good, okay, fine. But you have to mention them. Okay, lots of time you see 50 pages of tables and figures and there is not a single word written about them. Okay, this is not a good practice. Okay, if you have only 10 figures and 2 tables, but you have discussed them, mentioned them, this is good, this is better. Okay, so all diagrams should be mentioned. Reference means it should be mentioned. Okay, checklist. When you put a diagram in the report, table, figure, whatever, you should ask these questions yourself. And if you are not fulfilling or if you cannot answer some of them, then you can remove it. Okay. Does it give the reader the required information? Okay. Is it providing the information to the reader? Something new, something which you want to communicate. Is it easy to use? Can I see it? Can I comprehend it clearly? Okay. Can I see it and understand it easily? Okay. Does it look attractive? Okay. So now we use colors and different legends and so on and so forth to make the figure look attractive. Okay. Where it should be placed? Should it be in the middle of the page or the side of the page? The top, the bottom? Should I use borders? Okay. What type of font should I use? What color combination should I use? Okay. But you can see this question comes where? There are 3 questions, right? So this question comes where? No. Where? Where in the checklist? The last one. Okay. So looks don't matter. It's the last thing. If you can fulfill the other 2 things, the last thing, so you will see diagrams which are not so colorful, but they are still part of the report. It's fine. Okay. Like today I was looking at some drawings which were from the ministry. They were all black and white, gray and so on. Okay. So if you, because they are providing the required information, and for the contractor who will use them, they are easy. So they don't go after colors in that case. Okay. Just make sure that they are good enough, that readable. Okay. So now you look at these 2 diagrams. Which one looks easier? First one, right? Easier to read, right? Okay. So second one, what's the problem with second one?
Complicated.
It's complicated? Okay. What else?
Not easy to read.
Why?
Because it
Why it looks complicated? Why?
Lots of information.
Huh?
Lots of information.
Lot of information, too many lines, going up and down. You don't know where you start or where you will end. Okay. We used to play games like this when you were a kid. We still do. I still do. Anyways, we have to find the route, go from point A to point B, and the lines are going like this. So it's something like this. Another, can you find some technical fault in this diagram? So on the x-axis we have household category, the percentage of houses, and the y-axis, y-axis we have percentage of houses, and on the x-axis we have income of these houses. Can you find some flaw, technical flaw with the data? The data which they are showing. There's a technical problem. Yeah, doesn't look attractive, it looks complicated. But there's a problem with the data which they are showing. Anybody? What did they write with the graphs? With the lines, with the curves? What is written with them? Huh?
The values.
Values of what? Huh?
Of
Income, right? And what is on the x-axis? Income, right? So now you see the flaw. Okay. There is a value written here. Okay. But the graph, you see it goes from here to here. So this value means what? The line should not be here. Right? How come this is 48,000, more than 48,000, and it is a point less than 44,000? Is it possible? Okay. So it has a problem with clarity and it has a problem with data representation as well. Okay. The data is mixed up. Okay. Where should we put the diagrams? They should be put where readers don't have to, don't like to have their reading interrupted. Okay. So you mentioned in table 1, you can see this data. The table 1 is after 5 pages. Okay, or it already went 10 pages ago. Okay, so table 1 appeared, there was nothing written about table 1. Now, after 10 pages, you are saying, see table 1 for this. So, you are interrupting the reader, you are disturbing the reader yourself. He is trying to read your report and you are disturbing him. Okay. So, and this happens. Okay, it's a personal experience. You can observe yourself as well. If I say, go and look for this figure, page number so and so, and it's not the same page where you are reading. Okay, 50% of the times you will just continue. You will not go and come back. Okay, either you will go there and start reading from there, or either you will not go there and just continue. So you will not even look at the diagram. Okay, so don't do these things. Yeah, some of them who will be honest, they will see, okay, the figure comes after 2 pages. So when I reach at that page, I will see what they are talking about. But what will happen after 2 pages? You already forgot what you were talking about. There's something new now. Okay? It's very common with you guys, right? After 5 minutes, you will forget what I'm talking about. Okay. So position them in the right place where they are needed. That means positioning them to the text which refers to it, which mentions them. Position them close to that text. Okay? If possible, on the same text. But there can be exceptions. You are using an appendix. So appendix comes where? In the report. Which section has appendix? Or where does the appendix appear? In the report. Yes? No, I'm behind you.
The last.
In the end, right?
Yes.
Okay. Any type of an appendix. It will come at the end, right? Okay. So in that case, it's not possible. If something is an appendix, appendix should also be mentioned in the. Listen. Appendix should also be mentioned in the report. Obviously, you will not go in details. Definitely. For appendix, you don't go in the details because appendix is for some extra detail. So you don't go in the detail. But they should be mentioned in the report. Okay. See appendix A for this detail. That's it. Okay. But without mentioning, there should not be anything. Okay. So then there is an exception here. If something, a table or a diagram is in the appendix, then there is an exception. Okay. So you have data. You can show it in the form of a table, or you can show it in the form of a graph. Okay. So how to decide which one you should represent as a table, which one you should represent as a graph or a figure. Okay. So some guidelines are given here, but you have to decide yourself. Okay, you have to decide yourself. But in no case we provide both. This is a waste of time and this is a waste of paper and attention and so on. Okay, we don't use both for the same data. So you have a table and you have a figure and both of them are showing the same data, we don't do it. Okay. So tables are for quantitative comparisons. Okay, so we discussed earlier quantitative and qualitative. What's the difference? What's the difference between quantitative and qualitative? Quantity and quality, what's the difference?
Quantity for
Hmm?
quantity for
Numbers and qualitative means what?
quality for efficiency. For efficiency.
Efficiency, okay. Any other example of qualitative data? Quality means what? Yes. Quality means what? Ready? Let's do it. See what you were doing was not quality. Okay? Yes. You're saying efficiency. Quality means efficiency. Anybody else? Okay, give me an example of quantitative data. Something you represent with quantity. Give me an example. Huh? Fingers? Okay. Number. Okay. Number of something. Number of hands, number of people, number of chairs, number of and so on. Okay. Anything else? You are engineering students. You can do better. Yes. What? Huh? Yes.
How many work pieces we have?
How many
Work pieces.
work pieces we have? Okay. You know about volume, density, weight. All of these are what? Quantitative or qualitative? Quantitative. Okay. And you know about the grades as well, right? A, B, C, D. What are these? Qualitative, quantitative. Huh? Quality or quantity? Trying to measure quality. See? Huh? When you will understand, you will have quality. And you have to create it. Anyways. So in tables, you see the number exactly, right? When I make a table and I put a number in it, you see the number exactly. Okay, this much. Okay. In figures, you see the trend. Is it going up? Is it going down? Okay, so this becomes qualitative. You are looking at the trend. You may not know exactly the number. Okay, so for example, now you see here. Okay, they put the numbers. They put the numbers as well, but forget about the numbers. Forget about the numbers. Okay, but you can see which bar is the lowest and which bar is the highest. You can see it, right? And in each bar, you can see which portion has more, which thing has more portion, right? So this gray area has more part in it, okay? And this dark gray has less part in it, okay? So these trends are called as qualitative. This is qualitative representation, okay? While when you look at the table, okay, so for example, I have a table in which I put the student IDs. So you can see the ID of each student, right? The exact number, the full number. Okay, so this is quantitative. So if you want to show the reader the exact values, you want to represent the data quantitatively, the exact value, you want to communicate the exact value. This person, this value. This sample, this value. Then you will use what? A table. Okay? But you want to show which one is higher than who. Then you can do it more efficiently using figures and graphs and bars and so on and so forth. Okay, so tables are used for quantitative comparisons when the differences between, in some cases it may happen that you want to show the comparison, which one is higher, which one is lower. But if you plot them, okay, the difference is very small. Okay, so visually it will not be so clear. But when I write it with a number, it will become clearer. Okay, so one column has a value of 2, the other one has a value of 3. If you plot them, then 2 or 3, the difference is very small. But when somebody looks at the value, even the difference of 1 will become evident, clear. Okay, so tables can also be used where the difference is very small and you are afraid that if you plot it, the user may or the reader may miss it. Okay, so in that case you can also use a table. Okay, tables can, they can be used for providing a lot of information if they are used properly. I have seen tables which are 3D and 4D as well. Like they arrange, obviously tables are what, 2D, right? Tables are columns and rows, right? But people represent the information in such a way that like they are providing 3-4 levels of information. So it's like a 4 or 5D graph. Okay, it becomes more effective. So it depends upon how you are arranging it. Okay, all types of figures can usually be interpreted more easily, and therefore more preferable, as I mentioned, for qualitative nature. Okay, as I say, one picture is worth how many? One picture is worth how many words? 1,000, right? Okay, and one video? They don't know. Okay. So here you can see, okay, that there is some information which is provided in the form of a table. Okay, so it is basically providing two sets of comparison. If you look at the table, it is providing two sets of comparison. It is providing comparison between two different years, and it is also providing comparison between different governor rates. Okay, so it's like a 3D. Obviously, it's rows and columns, but they are arranged in a way. If I want to look at the comparison between different cities, I can see it. If I want to look at the comparison between different years, I can see it. Okay. While you look at this figure, okay, so we have ratio on the x-axis and speed on the y-axis. Okay, so you can see when the ratio increases, speed also increases, and then it goes back. Okay, so it shows the trend. It shows the trend. But if somebody asks you what is the exact value of ratio here and the speed here, we don't know. Okay. Another thing which you can see here, the graph is divided into different portions, right? Okay, so if I can place a number here, then I mean I'm in area E. Okay, so obviously this type of thing cannot be done with a table. Where you have exact values, then you cannot do this type of classification of the data. Okay, this is also qualitative. This division is also qualitative. Okay, if you are here, you are in F. Huh? These alphabets remind you of something, right? Everybody. So pay attention. Okay? You could be here, you could be here, right? Or there, or out of the graph, right? So for classification of the data, again, the figures are better. Okay? Okay, some general guidelines. Each table and figure should have a caption and a number. Same as the heading. Heading, you have heading 1, 2, 3, and then you give a caption, right? 1, and then the caption. Figures and tables should have the same thing. They should have a number and they should have a caption as well. Okay. The table captions are usually placed above the table. So the table caption and the number comes first and then the table. And figure captions and numbers are placed under the figure. Okay, so you will see the figure and then the number and the caption. Okay, caption meaning the title. Okay, you can also include within the figure number and table number the chapter number as well. You can include it. Okay, the figure number and chapter number can be with that table as well. This is what they adopt for your senior project reports. Okay, so if there is a table in chapter 2, so it will not be simply table 1 or table 2. It will be 2.1. Okay. If you have another table in chapter 3, so it will not be table 1, 2, 3. It will be 3.1. Another table in the same chapter, 3.2, and so on. Okay. So this is also a common practice, and you can do the same thing with the figures as well. But I think in the case of your reports, they only do it for one of them. I forgot which one. I think for tables they do this with the chapter number, the figures continuous. So figure 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. I think so. Anyways, you can check. Yes, so you can do that. Yeah, figures and tables should follow different series. Okay, so you have a table number 1. After that you have a figure number 1. Okay, it is the second object in your report, but it is the first figure. Okay, so figure will have its own numbering, table will have its own numbering. Clear? Okay. Okay. The use of space in particular can make the table easier to read. Okay. So, for example, you see here. Okay. So you see some spaces between them, right? Between the columns, you see some spaces. You see some spaces between the rows as well. Okay. So this makes the table easier to read, more attractive to read. Okay. If you try to compress everything, so your numbers are going up to 10 decimal places, okay, and you have like 100 rows in one page, okay, you can do that, okay, but it will not be useful for the reader. He cannot see what you are showing, okay. So use spaces wherever you can, okay. One thing is it mentioned here? Yeah. So how can I make my table more readable? There are some guidelines given here. Put units and powers of 10 in the column headings. Okay. So for example, you see here, what are the units? Huh? They are dollars. And then, so it's 10 to the power 6 dollars. Okay, 10 to the power 6 dollars. They could have put with each number 10 to the power 6 dollars, 10 to the power 6 dollars, but they avoided it. Whatever the idea is, if there is something common in all the values of the column, put that common on the top. Okay, anything which is common. So all values have the same units. Put the units on the top. All values have same decimal places. 10 to the power something. So put that 10 to the power something on the top. And we do the same thing with the figures as well. In the figures, we do the same thing. Okay. So now you see here that every number they have written 1000. Okay. And every number has a dollar sign, right? Okay. What can we do? What can I write here? $1,000, thousands of dollars. Okay. So every number will, this will be only 44, this will be only 32. Get it? Okay. And so on. Did they do it here? Okay. So something like millions of tons, billions of dollars and so on. Okay. Something out of my reach. Okay. So anything common goes in the heading of the column. Anything common goes in the title of the axis. Okay. And that common can be the units, it can be the power of 10. Okay, clear? One more thing, I believe is not mentioned here. So, for example, you are writing a number which is, you cannot see it properly, but there is a number here which has it is 28,000 something. 28,000 something. Okay, and then 28,000 something 0.5. 28,000 and then 0.5. Okay. Now, is the point necessary here? The decimal. We are talking in terms of thousands. Okay. We are talking in terms of thousands. This small decimal 0.5 doesn't matter. Okay. When you are talking in terms of thousands, this 0.5 doesn't matter. Okay. Same thing if you are writing the numbers which are very small. Okay, then you go up to 2, 3 decimal places. Okay, so choose, what do we call them? These decimal places. Yeah, significant figures, right? So choose your significant figures wisely. Okay. Another problem with us, with the software and everything, the software gives us every time 10 decimal places, even the calculators, right? Now we have to write it. It's not like this. You don't have to write it. Okay, this one. Okay, group together similar items. Okay, items which are similar, group them together when you are putting them in a table. For example, annual financial breakdown. You can group together months which are in different quarters. Okay, so when you are talking about finance, so in finances they have finances for 1 quarter, half yearly, annual, something like this. Okay, so something you can merge together is better. Okay, it will decrease the data which you are showing in the table. It will give you more space. it will make it more readable. Okay. Think about how much detail your reader needs. Do they need the exact figures or they need the rounded off numbers? Okay. So the significant figures. Okay. So somebody who is showing a number who you are showing the number in thousands, he is not really concerned about 0.5 or 0.01 or something. Okay, you can remove these things. Okay, if you can do this. A summary table in the report, a summary table with less data. Okay, merged data. So for example, you merge the data for every 3 months and you put it in the report. Okay, and then the appendix contains the detailed data for every month. So the table in the report has a short form, a summarized form of the data which you are providing in the appendix. This can be done. Clear? Clear? Okay. Now we talked about figures and table numbers, right? Okay. So we can do this using MS Word as well. Okay, so you don't have to worry about where I am putting the table, where I am putting the figure. Sometimes it happens, I am writing the report. I wrote the report, I already have 10 figures in the chapter. Okay, but now I remembered I forgot something. So I have to add. Okay, or this portion will not be in chapter number 2, it will go in chapter number 3. So when it will go, all the numberings will change, right? The figures number and the table number will change. The table was 2, now it will go to 10. Okay, so it will become 10 and table number 3 and 4 and 5, all the numberings will change. Okay, so in MS Word, you have this option that it can do it for you. Okay, so for example, you go here, you go to insert, and in insert then you see different options. Okay, the option which we are looking for is this one, cross reference. Okay, it will do two things for you. It will create numbers and figures for your it will create numbers for your tables and figures. Okay, and it will also help you to mention them in the text. Okay, so once you link it and you change the place, it will automatically change the reference as well in the text. So in the text I mentioned see table number 4. Then I took this table and I put it where? In chapter 5. So table number 4 now becomes table number 11. So now I don't have to search where did I put table number 4. Okay, I just take the table, put it where I want, and then once I refresh it or save it, all the numberings will change. Okay, so which item you are going to number? Okay, is it any numbered item? Is it a heading? So you can do the same thing with heading as well. Okay, so the heading can be cross-referenced as well. So you took the entire heading, you changed its place, now it's not section 3.2, now it is section 4.1. So wherever it was writing 3.2, it will write now 4.1. Okay, so it can be a footnote, an endnote, an equation, a figure, or a table. Okay. Okay. Then it is saying insert as hyperlink. Okay. So what it will do? You know what is the hyperlink, right? A hyperlink. Huh? It's a link, right? You shouldn't say hyper. Okay. Okay. So a link will do what? You click on it and it will take you to that table. So it solves, if you are showing something in the soft form, then, and the good thing is, if you convert it to PDF, it will remain as it is. So even the Word file converted to PDF, you can click on the link and it will again take you to the same place. But it will not make any changes. Once you convert it to PDF, try to make any changes, it will not happen. The link will remain as it is. Okay, so it will become stable. But anyways, so if I do this, then wherever I'm putting the reference, okay, it will create a hyperlink. I can click on that link and it will take me to that figure or table. Okay, so I'm referring to figure here. So whenever I put the figure, it will take me to that figure. When I click on the text, it will take me to that figure. So usually we do this. Okay, and usually we go for this one. Only label and number. Label is what? Figure or table. This is called a label. Okay, and number is the number. Okay, so in the text it will show figure 1. Okay, or table 1. If I do this one, it will show the entire caption. Figure 1, volume versus speed diagrams. The entire thing will appear in the text. Usually we don't want this. Okay, so usually we just want this one. Okay, now it is not working because I have not put any tables or figures in. Okay. Okay. Yes. So that cross-reference option will work if you already have a figure or a table caption in your document. To include or to put a figure or a table caption in your document, we go there in the references. Okay, in the references. Now if you remember what it was showing in the cross-referencing, it was showing you can cross-reference a footnote, you can cross-reference a heading, you can cross-reference an equation. Look at the, no, it's not here. It was in the insert. Anyways. So you can cross-reference a table or a figure or whatever. Okay, and you can see the cross-referencing here as well. Here you can see the cross-referencing. Again, it will do the same thing. If you click on it, it will do the same thing. Okay, so if I go here, for example, insert caption. Okay, so what type of caption you want? This is what we call as a label. This is called a label. Okay, it's showing figure because I have selected figure. Okay, if I select table here, table 1. Okay, I can change the text. By going here. Okay, new label. So I can make my own label. Okay, instead of saying figure 1, I can say FIG dot. Okay, so this is my label one. Okay, when you create the label, it will start showing here. Okay, when you create the label, it will start showing here. Okay, and then we have the numberings. Okay, the numbering, then you can go to this option and you can change the formatting of the numbers. Okay, so one thing which I already mentioned, you can include chapter number with the numbers of the figure. Okay, so it will take the chapter numbers as well and then it will continue the figure numbers from that chapter onwards. Okay, so if I click here, then the first figure in the first chapter will be 1.1. Then 1.2, 1.3. When it goes to the second chapter, it will start 2.1, 2.2. Got it? Okay. So you can do this. There are different formatting options here. Arabic as well. So you can put it in the form of numbers or the Roman numbering or ABC okay, and so on and so forth. If you include the chapter number, then it will ask you, what do you mean by chapter number? How do I define the chapter number? Okay, I will talk about these things later on as well. But right now, for example, heading 1, so it will write, it will, between the chapter number and the figure number, it will use a hyphen, the small dash. Okay, so you can change it from here. Okay, so instead of a hyphen, I can use a dot, a period, or a comma, or whatever. Okay, so this is between the chapter number and the figure number. Okay, and it's talking about heading styles. We did not do it yet. So the problem is, I don't have any chapters right now in my document. So if I go for a chapter number, then it will say what I do. The same chapter numbers, where are the chapters? Okay. So this is how they know I am a teacher. Okay. It just did what? It wrote figure 1 or FIG.1, the label I created. FIG dot is the label, it will remain as it is. Okay. So if I insert another figure, I go there, insert caption. Okay. So now it will do figure 2. Okay. So what is missing here? The caption is missing. Okay. This is just the label and the number. Okay, the caption is missing. You have to type a caption because the captions cannot be generated by the software. Okay, the software will only detect the label and the number. Okay, now what will happen? So if I write, for example, in front of this, I write speed, density, graph. Okay, this becomes the caption. This entire thing with the semicolon is the caption. Okay, so when I do this, when I go to the new line, caption, finished. Okay, so whatever is after the number is the caption. Okay, so if I go for cross reference now, okay, so if you say, use only label and number. Okay, I put 2 figures, right? I put, where are these? Why is it not showing here? Somebody tell me. I put 2 figures, right? Earlier there was no figures, so it was the list was blank. But now why is it blank now? Yes. Now the coffee is finished. Tell me. You created a new label. Okay, so it is not figure. According to the software, it is this FIG dot. Okay, so now you can see here no caption. Okay, so it's just showing me the label and the number. Okay, here whatever was in one line, not one line. So for example, the caption is very long, but you didn't press enter. So without enter, even if you write the entire paragraph, it will treat it as the caption. Okay, so if I keep on writing blah 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 in front of it, the whole thing will be a caption. Clear? Clear? Okay. So, and if you don't write anything, that's it. Okay, it will just show the number and the label. Okay. So, if I say here entire caption, okay. So I only have entire caption for this figure. So if I insert it, it is inserted, okay? Where is it? Yeah. So this is how it will appear in the text. So you can see the label is here, the number is here, the caption is here, okay? Now I do what? And I told you it will create a hyperlink, right? So you can go there, click on it, it will go to wherever figure 2 is. Okay. Now I delete it and I cross-reference it and I just say label and number. And I do again for this one, insert, close. Okay, so only the label and the number. Clear? And if you copy it, paste it, up, down, change it, okay, it will change. It will change. Okay. So for example, now I do what? So this was figure 2. Why it was figure 2? Because it was the second one, right? So I take this one. Is there a way to refresh it? Okay, so I change the place, but still it goes to the new place now. Okay, the place where I have changed it. This is what now. No, it doesn't refresh the numbers, but it updates the hyperlink. Okay, so you have to once you we will discuss it later on. Once you put the list of figures or tables or table of contents, then you update it. Everything will be updated. Right now it's just the labels, so it's not updating. Okay, but when you put the table of content and everything, then it updates even in the document as well. So this one, the first one will become figure 1, the second one will become figure 2 once you have the tables and everything. Okay, right now it's not doing that. Okay, any questions? Okay, just a reminder that next time you will